How's it going, guys? Another Sunday. Just gonna load up here. My channel. Manage. Create. Go live. I think I'm already live. Excellent collection. That's what I like to see. Click on here. Alright. Yeah, live. So yeah, what I was just working on here is I am trying to take one of the Lyra weapons here. If I go to why did it go wireframe? Just like an out. Yeah, I probably just don't have the textures with it. Just for text shading. Rendered. It's material preview. Yeah, I probably just don't have the textures with them. But this gun here, this SK pistol, is the Lyra pistol, and this Falcon Tactical is the pistol I'm trying to replace. So what I was just in the middle of doing was trying to figure that out here. So yeah, I take the Lyra. I want to take the Lyra bones, and I want to apply it to my pistol, so that way I could use the animations and everything. So I want to take this. Well, that's the Falcon. This is the pistol. Um, Oop. That didn't work out. I haven't done much blendering in a while. Great barrel. Slide. Trigger. Yep. But since I'm just struggling my way through this, I'll stop that for now. And I'll come back to that another time. But yeah, what else is it? So what I was doing is, yeah, I got some weapons into the game. The weapon, yeah, that I was looking at. I got a revolver. I think I get the skeleton mesh onto there. This was the Falcon that we're just looking at, which is just kind of your basic pistol. But I could go into the pistol, and it has a body. Click here. Gold. I got a couple. You know what I mean? Different meshes that I could do with this guy. With the extras, make it nice and shiny there. Yeah, not too much. It's pretty much the same stuff. But that's good enough now. I'll just save it. But that's kind of the same. Then let's go. I brought in some of the other weapons. So that was the Falcon. We got the Kraken here. Just some like rifles, SMGs, shotgun. Great. And then I'll be just trying to swap out the Lyra meshes with my meshes. So hit play here. I'm trying to look into switching that loading screen to be my loading screen. If I go to front end here, so I gotta switch that loading screen. I threw up my loading screen here, did my couple changes. You can see like the kind of like clouds in the background. I was trying to do. It looks kind of like ashes falling in a sense. Then yeah, I switched up the main menu looks here. I gotta switch out this background. So this is what it's gonna look like on PC. If I go to File, Preferences, no, Editor's Preferences, Emulate, we're gonna emulate Android device. I don't know if I'm even doing Android device, but it's the Unreal Engine said they're gonna do a tutorial on how to register for consoles. So I was just getting kind of set up for whenever a console kind of releases in a sense. And so it's kind of the same for mobile. But I have I can't click on anything because I don't have touch. I don't have touchscreen. Editor preferences. So we'll stop. That would be what it's like for Android device. And again, so I'll show you finding home maybe. No, I think I just had it in the locations, so I could go all loading. Yeah, here we go. So this is the loading screen that I'm trying to set up here. And this is going to be like on consoles and stuff. I have another one. So start. Yeah, here we go. So for consoles, this is what will pop up right away. The start screen, and then again I have the clouds in the background. Yeah. And so that's some of the stuff I was working on. Nope. Right. Yeah, clear. Oh, I'm in the floor. That's what's going on. What else? Other than working on that menu, which again, I think if I go to project settings, encryption, game definition, gameplay tags, no, maps and modes. Liar game mode should be fine. We can make our own game mode later. Lyra front end should be fine. The default editor should be fine. Advanced. Transition map. Transition map is none. And that's an engine map. That's not anything that's been changed. Oh. I never checked the Lyra game instance folder class. Trying to find out where that loading screen is so I can change it up. The other thing I was working on again is the hospital, but I just kind of like want to just take a break. It's a lot of the same stuff over and over again, but it's what it takes to make a good map, right? Like, and again, now I'm trying to switch out some of the versions for I did make the first level all the ground in blueprints, and then I actually converted that to static mesh, but I can show you that when we get into the level. Oh, this is empty. Interesting. Nothing here except the audio components, music system, and audio lobby section. Nothing. Wow. And I guess they bring everything from area to area because it's all modular. Like again, normally I use the game instance a lot because it's the only thing that travels from level to level. And when I wanted to make my game, I wanted to have multiple different modes. And sometimes when you're switching from one mode to the next, you're opening up a different level. And so you'd want things to carry over like music and the way your character looks and design and stuff like that. So, thought that would have been there. There's nothing there. Like again, loading screens, because you'd boot up the loading screen sometimes in like the game instance when you're opening up a new game, like a new level file, and it's the only thing that transfers between that's going on between the two level files. You have that that loading screen opened up while you're waiting for new levels to actually open, and then once the level opens, you can have the level streaming in there. But it looks like level streaming might become kind of like a thing of the past, that they're using their partitioning system now along with the new data layer system, which is the exact same thing I find as level streaming, but it's in the level. You don't have to make, like, again, for depending on how my level goes in the hospital. Remember, I have that's the desert hospital, fighting home, maps, hospital. I have all these maps because for level streaming, it streams in the like a level and then unstreams it. You don't need to have like a million maps anymore because you'll have just all in a data layer, and it does the same thing. So when you hit a trigger box instead of a level streaming volume, which is the exact same thing, while you're within that trigger box, load these actors, a part of this data layer. Once you leave the trigger box or leave the hitbox, unload those that actors, and then you do that setup the way you need to. So that's how people would do verticality in world partition. So if you're going up, and then world partition takes care of, depending on how many cells you have, distance of object spawning and stuff like that. So if things are too far away, it'll take care of the popping in, popping out, along with nanite. It should be a lot more efficient. But again, it will be hard to, even on stronger machines, to get a true 120 frame that you see in like Unreal Engine 4 with the Lumen system, which everybody's going to want to have on all the time because it's really powerful and stuff like that. What you'd have to go into is disable certain things. People having a hard time with grass, for instance. You could disable some of the shadow effects on the grass specifically. There's a couple different things you can do to optimize. Some people just turn off the virtual shadowing, but I got told that's not recommended because that's, well, it helps everything look really good, but it's kind of what's intended. But yeah, let's open that map for now, I guess. Let's show you what's going on. As I think I got Blender open still. Characters. My VTuber. This is what I was talking about. So I got the floor in, and this floor is just one static mesh. I have the blueprint version of this for editing purposes when we go to change it, and for like level stream purposes later on. But the first two maps, the elimination and control maps, because you're using smart AI that could go anywhere, we're gonna have to have the level already kind of set up. So like, I won't be using level streaming volumes, especially for these outside for that map, because there will be AI running around. And so if I'm over here, say, and the back half of the building isn't loaded, those guys are gonna just run off the wall, like they could just fall. You know what I mean? The floors wouldn't be loaded in that case; they'll just fall through. But what I'm doing all this level streaming stuff and setting it all up for is I'm gonna have different modes and stuff. Like, and depending on the modes, depending on what you're doing, if it's single player or multiplayer, single player, I'm gonna allow the level streaming so you can have more detail and more things in it. So wherever you are, that matters. But once it comes, or even for say multiplayer, it'll still be fine because as long as there's a player, the level streaming volumes work for wherever the players are. And so I could have zombie spawners and stuff like that in there, and this, when the characters are getting close to that area, zombie spawners will spawn and certain things will spawn depending on the area that they're in. And it's not going to load a bunch of stuff that they're not in that area for. Interior rooms, those will always be, I'll always have those level streamed, whether I'm doing the Lyra, like elimination and controls, or like I said, the zombie chase games and stuff. But for elimination, the floors are going to be like each individual static mesh with one floor, and then you're going to have floor 2, floor 3, and floor 4, and then the entire building, I will have a static mesh for the entire building as one. That be like the entire exterior, including the roof. Now, again, I'll have the roof as a separate blueprint. for different modes and stuff like that. But for that mode specifically, that and the walls in the inside will have to be permanent as well, because we're going to want the Lyra characters to be able to run down the halls and stuff like that and tuck around corners, just in case if you're doing yourself with like 3 bots on your team and 3 bots on the enemy team, you want those bots to be able to duke it out where you're not, and you want it loaded where you're not. So that's the difference between why I still need to do both, and it does become a little bit tedious doing both versions. And so like when I got to do this whole exterior, certain things I won't need to do, like these signs, I don't think really matter. This matters, but anything the AI could walk into, like whether it's major, so they don't fall off the cliff. So like these edging, or like if they're obviously in this hall and they don't want to run out off the like out of the like the walls, the floors of the main thing. The roof is technically going to be a floor because you will be able to go to the roof. Things that might not load in for the AI would be like doors, so they could easily go through the doors. There won't be doors, but for the player, when the player's nearby, those doors will be spawned. So that's how we kind of do that. Did I move this or something? Why did it say it edited it? I guess I don't remember actually doing any edits though. It looked like I moved it. So yeah, what I was looking for to try to change up the pace, and then I'll have to get back to this, is trying to figure out. But yeah, so what I gotta do for the floor next is I gotta work on the walls and do the walls as separate and save them as blueprints, and then do all the walls as a whole and save them as blueprint, as like a big blueprint, and then static mesh the walls so that they could be permanently there in the persistent level. Yeah, just to break it up, like I said, I was looking into the menus and stuff like that to try to get that sorted out. So when you hit play, this should be in the persistent level. Yeah. Just because that was edited, I guess. So if I go to all content, system, default map, I'm trying to figure out when I hit play, it has a loading screen there. If I go to the level blueprint, try to initialize local player, and that's all there is. What does N do? Whoa! Split screen. Roger. Interesting. Okay. quick settings. So I was thinking that there probably is like a load, like normally in like maps and modes. As you seen in like the advanced section or the default maps section here. The transition map is like your loading map usually, and whatever you have here is sometimes loaded up, and it doesn't have to be a map. Like sometimes it's like just the UI, and so I thought maybe they're using a transition map, and if I went to that transition map, I'll have the loading thing there, but it's not even doing that. So default game mode is Lyra. I searched that. Look at the full blueprint. As I thought, it's just going to be empty. Nothing here. Lyra character controller. Lyra HUD. It didn't go to either Lyra HUD or Lyra character controller because they do not exist. They are C++ classes, and that is the case. Like I'm probably gonna have to look into getting Visual Studios 2022. It's out, the Community Edition. Get that installed with certain things, and then try to dive into something, because I'm guessing that's probably it's aim assist. No. I'm going to class concrete character. I have to add more effects, I believe. Audio. Control bus mix. Loading screen mix. Mixed user settings. So I guess when I add audio or dialogue, I'll have to make sure that I set the like sound effects. So if I add my ultra dynamic sky, the system that I had bought, I'll probably have to go into the Thunder and everything and make sure that it uses the CB SFX every single volume, like the Thunder Crackle and stuff like that. So then if people want to turn down the rain, they would turn down when they turn down the sound effects and the options. That's what that would control. Performance, frame rates, game features. That's kind of crazy how it has all this access and common loading screen. There we go. I knew it was probably in here. So this is host widget, loading screen host widget. So we want the way I change all my stuff is like a loading screen is a loading screen. So I kind of like that naming convention, and it's a host, so it's gonna be a host. So we'll see how that goes. But what I do, loading screen, is I like to have all my things at the back. I like to have it as a suffix. I guess if you have it, because sometimes, like when I'm building a very, very big game, I can have hundreds of blueprints maybe, and if everything has B in front of it, it's all sorted there. Technically, I guess it's alphabetical, so they'd all be B, and then after that, the first A would take place. So sometimes it might be more organized that way, but most of the things will still have FH in front of it anyway. So I'm going to choose this guy because I know this is mine. It's the order is 10,000, so it covers up everything. That's nice. Okay. Input settings, common input data. Search for that. Okay. I allowed shooter core. It's a plugin, so I'm gonna say all my domains can access the shooter core plugin. So that way, if I make my maps in like my folders and not in the plugin folders, it won't cry, it won't complain. Other than that, all the Lyra stuff you make will probably have to be in the Lyra folders, or it will complain. It will say you're doing things illegally. Ugh. Click and back. Common input data. Might have to look and do that. I don't think. Clicking back, it's just going through the menus, right? Like this is already set up for consoles, I believe. That's what they showcased anyway. Like once they allow you to register, it should all be set up for console. And actually, if you plug in a controller, it just works. So I guess you don't need anything else in the common input data because it's only working off the menus. Once you go into a level, you're gonna have your actual input. All right, but let's see if my menu's in there. Oh, yeah, that was there. That was there. It switched up. There we go. What was that though? Oh my god. Oh. So that's fine. It's loading up everything really fast because I've already preloaded everything. I've done everything multiple times. Let's go to front end. Front end layout. No. System. Front end. Maps. Let's open the front end map. Let's hit play. So what's happening is I have transparency, and I don't know if I like that. So it's a host. That's this guy here. See, it's pretty transparent. And then the screen's loading up behind it. Now you get the double finding home. Let's also, with host selected, load up the Lyra version. And let's kill this. In the Lyra version, yeah, this is pretty thick. Can't really see through that. It just has the two things, the two screens. Where I have this nice, like, I thought it was cool to have the transparent kind of clouds. See, sometimes I don't know why we do this, but wondering 'cause it's the material that we made. This is the way Unreal was suggesting. They have a new UI tutorial that just came out that I had watched, and this is kind of, they wanted to use materials because they're more flexible and stuff like that. Just trying to think of the best way, like if I should just have something in my host screen that kind of sits in the background here, like, that's kind of like let's see. I got my Survival UI kit. No. Might have to go to desktop, my game, version 1. This is where I keep a lot of my art assets. Do I have just the trees? I like these trees. There we go. Title screen, background image. So, buying home. System. That's blueprints. UI. Art. Alright. Here it goes. Desktop, my game, version 1. Title screen is the T. Title screen background. We could save that. Now. Okay, title. I want to do that. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Rename this. Well, it's technically a loading screen, isn't it? But it is by title screen. Title screen background image. That's really what it is. Seeing how have like the trees kind of floating in the background, I thought I would give it like that kind of ominous kind of thing. Next is this guy. But I think I'm gonna completely rehaul the main menu. Probably gonna check here, see how everything's doing, because I'm gonna have multiple versions of the engine open. Gonna see my connection's still good. Hopefully the frame rates don't drop like hell. Maybe I don't want to pull up Task Manager because that's just another thing on top of, well, everything else. But don't want. Anything else unneeded kind of loading up. But in the meantime, since this is good to go, I'll close this. I like this now. I'll close these guys too. I didn't touch that guy. Oh, I want to find the menu. This is menu. Title button. Lyra scroll box. Interesting. You already have a scroll box? This is graphics is like to see that confirmation. Browse the asset. Open that up. Browse the asset. Oh, it's right in the same area, but we can open that up as well. That's mine. That's the old one. Kind of want to open this up. And we could do either one of these. We don't need both. We'll take elimination. It's a Lyra scroll box. Team lists. So it scrolls down. Not too sure what's special with the Lyra scroll box, but I think that's what I'm going to require. That makes sense. So it's just the teams dropping. This is fine for now. Was it just these two? These two? Yeah, it's just those two. Okay. Oh, my kind of naked character there. And this is what we are looking at. So we want, in my mind, pretty much 2 drop down or Lyra scroll boxes. So I want it so you're gonna have your game modes here, and you're gonna have all the game modes. When you select the game modes, I want it so you have your maps. Because we're going to have a lot of game modes, a lot more than three. But dummy tile, dummy tile, dummy tile. With this being a Lyra scroll, see, it's a Lyra scroll box as well, and its orientation is horizontal. I wonder if you could have more dummy maps. This is a Lyra scroll box for up and down though. But we are more looking at this experience list here. Let's browse this experience list. Where's this experience list being used? Scroll box, macros, and the experience tile. Yeah, those are where all the different game things are from. Host session, widget experience selection screen. That's the same thing. Maybe host session then. Mm-hmm. Ooh. there's probably a better way to find this. Because looking at this is just all like generic stuff. Is this shifted? Yeah, okay. Toggle box. Vertical box. This is just how they're placing things. Which again, I'm going to have to change up. If I did have it this way and I could just scroll through the maps. Still don't think that would work. Don't think that would work because this is still just maps. And what about the game modes per map? Like, in the long run, to make it scalable, we're going to have a bunch of game modes. And each game mode will have a bunch of different maps they can go to. This is just 3 maps, and each map has a specific game mode. And so even if you did this, and you scrolled to the right, it could be way too long. And by selecting game mode, we want to eliminate maps that we wouldn't be able to play on anyway. So, essentially, we want 2 of these, and we want drop downs for them. Dummy tile. Yes. Which is a button. Let's open that up. Game instance, liar game instance, audio, play sound, hover, animation, nice little button. Has a bunch of stuff already set into it. Okay, whoa, is this? Oh, no, oh. Yeah, this is a little too wide for my liking, so I could get it in the center of the screen here. So, we like this guy. We like this guy. Button. This is the tile. The button and the tile is used by the teleporter and the experience list only. The experience list. This is what we want to change. This is not how we want to list our experiences. In reality, we can keep this size. But we want to remove this center tile. But we won't want to touch this well, we're going to browse to asset. we don't want to touch this guy. So we're going to want to duplicate this guy. W. I'll call it experience list. So I don't want to call it game modes because it will have a list of game modes and a list of maps. When you open up this, in here, I know this is a Lyra scroll box already, and you can scroll through curious on what would happen if we created a bunch of these, hit save, host session, instead or I could undo the changes even. So I wouldn't be using this later. So what happens if I hit Control D 3 times? So got a whole session. Ah, it is as I thought. So if I hit play Lyra, it's still only going to show these. But as you can see, there is a little scroll wheel. So it would shift left. It would scroll left and right. I don't think everything edited. Yeah, you can see that little scroll down there that popped up once we made more. Yeah, so we fixed all this so we could save that. These are separated, but these are auto, auto, auto. You know what, I think I'm gonna want to change this. Cause yeah, that is just that tile. The space is put in there after. So if I go to box, I'm gonna browse this here. tile button. We're gonna duplicate this. Call it widget Lyra. No, it's not Lyra. It's experience tile button. Because it's technically a button still. We have the list. Will you be able to click on the list separate from the button? The whole button itself is the button. Oh, that's not going to work. I was going to add the list to the top of the button. You know what I need? We'll find, browse, reference viewer, tile button, tile, browse to asset. Tile just has a spacer, and the button. Yeah, this is what I need. This is what I want. Browse to asset. We're gonna duplicate this. W experience tile. We're gonna use the same tile for maps and for game modes. Experience tile list, we're gonna call it, because it's gonna have a list in it. So we're gonna take that, and in here we're gonna what is up with this size of 8 and 8? Why is it so tall? Is there a padding added to this? Like, I'm wondering why. Is there a padding added to this? Appearance. No padding. Appearance size. Like, why is this taller? But yet, there's no. Horizontal box. In the horizontal box, because there is 2 of these things, I want a vertical box. Vertical box. We're going to put this in the horizontal box after the spacer. I'm going to throw this guy in there. So it's spacer, vertical box, spacer. And in this vertical box, I want a Lyra. List view. That was a scroll, wasn't it? Lyra scroll box. Yes, it was Lyra scroll box. And I also want to duplicate this spacer. I want to put a spacer in there. In the Lyra scroll box, what do I want? Fill. Thickness of the scroll bar 8 by 8. What if I do 32? Let's see. Doesn't affect anything. Alright. I think I want a button. So you can just scroll down and just click which one you want. Just like these are all buttons. I think that would work with the controller. Or really, should I got a like a... Let's check out the other one. If we go to Oop. No. No, it's not this one. So yeah, if I hit play, game modes, and it's like a. That's what I think I want this drop box. That's what I think I really want. I don't think I want a scroll box. I want the player to be able to select it and then scroll. What is this called? And this, I was using the survival game kit, blueprints, widgets. It's been a while since I looked into this stuff. Here we go. It's a box, vertical box, spacer, button. Combo string. Combo box string. Yeah, it's an input. Combo box string. Display a list. Seems a bit right. And so now we can click on that, drop it down, and we'll be able to select what map mode we want. Yeah, and then I have it on change. That's how I would do it, I guess. Set it to an enum. So we need values. Right now, we have. I'll just actually delete this one. We have elimination in control point. Selected option, elimination. Then I'll have to go into how it looks later on, I think. Style. Then we'll go into our regular buttons. I could probably just go all and do button. Base button. Or if I get the buttons from the main menu, I think that would be good. So title. Title screen. These guys use AI. This one, I click on the start button. Yeah, it's font. That's the font material. Button brush. It's different, and then it has an arrow. It's an image. Font material. Do I even have a font, or do I need to add a font to that? Select style. There is a font in the combo box. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, it's here. So if I go back to this list, it should be item style, text. Yeah, there's a font here. So I do want to copy this font and paste the font material here. I do want to copy the button border, I guess. Paste. Looks weird. Wonder if I could do like a combo box using the. Cause that's just taking the button border. Button border brush. As you can see, the button border brush does more than just, well, the button border. Lyra menu button, actually. Oh. That's probably why. Maybe I gotta edit this at some point. I'll browse to. Yeah, because I want to change that. The text, that's why the certain colors are kind of messed up. What do you think? That's where that's coming from. Oh, no, this is what I want. Main button soft shadow. Button border. Overlaid. Switch. Horizontal menu. That's the font. Button border. Glow. Text shadow. So, I think it's button border, and in here, there's obviously nothing in the boxes. Font, button border, arrows. Yeah, wish I knew how to make my own combo box. Or switch out the combo box button to be the Lyra button that we've already have. But since I can't, I want this background. Since this doesn't have a background, that's just a spacer. This is just the border. That's a switcher overlay, switcher text shadow. Menu button soft shadow. But even if I put that shadow in, then I won't have the border and everything. You get what I mean? We won't have unhovered. Mm. That looks like it'll probably be really jarring. Oops. On hovered. On pressed. Something like that. I'll look at the title screen. It has like the red. Selected item style. We do UI menu. Oops. UI underscore menu. And I have to select one of these, and then I could scroll up. There we go. I could have probably just copied and pasted. I'm gonna just copy and paste. I'll just do the same thing, I guess. The active one will be light. We'll see how that goes. The font red. I wonder why in Unreal Engine 4 though it actually shows that survival. 'Cause that's the one that's in there, right? Combo button is just a combo button. Nothing special. Survival is selected, so that's what's there. There's no text, right? Combo button style, that's where I just decorated it. There's no added text. The text that I added is right here. That's the text. So that text should be here. I'm not sure why it's not displaying. Is it saying that it's not big enough? Padding 2 for elimination. What if I do no padding? Don't want to pad the numbers. Didn't do anything, just made it smaller. Can't reverse that? No. That's more like it. Why doesn't it not say elimination? The style is fine. Item, font 16, 4, 32. Oops. I don't think it's gonna. It's not gonna do anything. 16. Bold. Whatever the font is. Also, I want to make sure it's centered. There we go. Style. It's just the style. Color brush. Where does it have the writing? This is blank. Do I want to do the change experience? No, because I won't know what experience it's changing to. But in my thing, I want to add experience tile. A little bit smaller. And we will delete this. Get another one in there. Experience tile list. We'll change this to maps. Widget. And this to game mode. ETL widget. Now I also think I'd want a spacer in here, I guess. and spread spacer. Would be like 300. And again, I'd have to test this on different devices and stuff and see how that goes. Maybe eventually do like 400. And I think it should shrink these guys, I guess. To fit. But even that, I don't, just in case if you're playing with like a really small screen, don't think I would need them split up that much. Like they could be centered. It doesn't really matter to me, because my whole UI is completely changed anyway. And then so that's the tile list, right? So if I go to browse, it's used by a host. Apparently used by this, and it's used by this. Where? Live widget. These are just regular vertical boxes and stuff. It's just a regular scroll box. Action button. Is it in the graph somewhere? Woo. Oh. Target is widget list. On experience selected. On experience selected, it has the experience list widget. Has a bunch of stuff. If I check this guy, that's all the things it's using. So he's also in the selection screen. So that's what's happening. The selection screen actually has both menus. So it's doing all the things. So when an experience is selected, it's setting the selected experience. And if I go to that list, it's just a dispatcher that gives an experience definition. So the dispatcher must fired on some sort of click event. Is that coded? On the actual tile. Button on clicked. Sends the same thing. Well, let's figure it out here. So why I'm looking into that is obviously if they're clicking this button and it's setting up an experience set to whatever this is clicked to, that's not going to work for me because I'm going to have a list of game modes and maps, and this will be just the game mode. So I have to create an experience. I have to create this button experience. Once both the map and the button is selected, I'm gonna need another button, like a play. Yeah, so this is the stuff I'm gonna be looking into for now, because it looks like it's gonna start to get more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I am probably going to just deal with the regular maps right now, And because I know this is set up to be a Lyra scrolling, I'm not going to have enough maps or modes to really stress too much about that. So it's all going to be just the hospital map to start off, right? And so it'll be the hospital map, elimination, hospital map, um, control, and then later on hunt, assault, and stuff like that. And so we'll add, and the people will be able to scroll. Oops, can we hit Control Z? Control Z, edit X. Do edit X. Don't think I did anything there. Excuse me. I keep thinking I can scroll this, so I keep clicking on it and messing it. Oh. But yeah, they'll be able to scroll. Oh yeah, the scroll wheel disappeared again. Now that we've saved and stuff, and it's reopened it and closed it, and there's not more than one. There's not more than 3 maps. But once there's more than 3 maps, we got that scroll wheel at the bottom again. And yeah, so for each mode it'll just scroll. But say once we get a new map in, like the school or the urban area or the meat area or the amusement park, the abandoned amusement park, these maps will all kind of get quadrupled in a sense. And even if I had, and the nice thing about these tiles, these map tiles, like again, they're for, I'll call it the game mode, right? So I'll have a picture of the game mode, right? I get a nice picture of the game mode. I get to describe what the game mode does, and the name of the game mode, right? So it's all nicely in there. I don't really care that it's a button, even though the people are like, I'll just probably have to disable the button feature, like, because you won't be clicking on that specifically, because so when you hit the drop down menu of where's mine, when you hit the drop down menu and you click what menu you want, this all updates to assault. Assault is where hordes of zombies will be chasing you. You have to fight waves off until you could beat the final ultimate boss. You know what I mean? And it has a picture of maybe the boss and all of his minions or something like that. Boom. Like, and that's just the game mode, right? And then you're going to have one for the actual map. Description, hospital, creepy asylum where weird experiments were happening and stuff like that as a description. And it has a picture of the map. So you get to see what the map looks like before you click the map. Maybe you don't like that map at all, and I'll take an actual like in-game screenshot of the map so people have an idea of what the map looks like. You know what I mean? And so again, for the school, I take a picture of the school, right? And so people can identify quickly what that map is like and stuff like that, and what to expect. So and when they have a description of it too. So this is all nice for both the map and the game mode. So I want them like that for both. Will it work well with the Lyra system right now? It looks like Lyra has a bunch of stuff in the back end right now with the experience setting up and setting up experience definitions and getting the user experiences from the rows. Which I'll have to look into all that stuff. I think I did look into it before. There's like experience. I'll have to go all experience. So like, I think these things are part of experiences, like the shooter game gym. Like the Expanse, because they have a playlist, and that's why it's coming out when I type experiences. Shooter again, yeah, shooter elimination experience. Yes. Let's click on this. Yeah, Lyra definition. So this is an experience, and it has what abilities you could use. It has all of the information for the map, what character you use, what inputs you could use, your HUD that you're going to use, your basic alkaloids, the components that you're going to be using. So the ability set is elimination, player state, right? And another great example is if we open up the control. Again, it has the control point scoring. It has all these extra components to it. So this is an experience, and right now I think in the buttons itself it stores those, it gets sent those experiences, and it's holding those experiences. This is why this is just a blank map tile, right? You look, that's what all it is when you look at the experience list, it's 3 tiles, 3 blank tiles. When you go to host a session, it's 3 blank tiles. When you look at the probably here, no, menu button, host session, I'm looking for the select, right? Did I accidentally close it? Select. Yeah, I must have somehow closed it. So when you're clicking on here, it's gonna, through the list of experiences that you have set up, it's going to then populate this here, and so like when we hit play, well, it's really chunking because I guess everything's open. See, these experiences aren't that default anymore. They have a background image, they have a name, they have a description. Those are filled in because they are, there's an experience list, like an array, and this list gets that array pretty much when the menu is created. So again, when you look at here, this is the tile, or is this the list? This is just the tile. Sorry, the list graph on construction. Clear. Then it's going to get primary ID. And then it's going to get an insert. It's going to loop async, get primary asset ID list. So it's going to go looking for the Lyra facing experience definitions, and it's going to pick up every single experience that there is and loop, and then create the widgets as per. Create tile widget. Create tile widget. So like when it says dummy widget, I think these are actually just dummy widgets for like placeholders, so it's for sizing. Um, so even for me, I might have to do in mine dummy widgets, 3 dummy widgets, so I have the right size. So instead of a oh, that's not it either. Yeah, instead of a spacer here, I might need to just do map tile experience tile widget. Drag it in here. Delete. And just call this like did dummy tile. And then when it's gonna create the tiles and stuff like that, I'll have to make sure that I'll have to create 2 different lists pretty much for the tiles. I have to make my own kind of experience lists. And that's why when the tiles get clicked on, they could send the event dispatcher of what the experience was selected, because the tile knows what experience it is. But yeah, that's something I'll be looking in for next time. Thank you guys for chilling. It is 11 o'clock. I hope this stream was a little bit different, a little bit interesting. You kind of see me troubleshooting, going through, look at things. Again, this is something that I gotta look into for the future. Make sure we get our like I just thought for the beginning. We're gonna need our maps, like our menu set up, and they did start doing a couple of UI tutorials. There's 2 tutorials that came out by Unreal about how to set things up. And again, I'll just double check them when I get a chance and see what I'm looking into for making experiences and stuff, and how I would set up mine to best use all my maps and stuff like that. Might even just use their create widget kind of thing. Might just preset it. Again, they made this super modular, so you could just add tons of levels and add different things. But for me, again, I'm gonna have to take their game. That's what they suggested: is you take their game and you're gonna customize it for your game. Like, so I have to take what they gave us, and I'm gonna have to lose some of their modularness to get it to work for my stuff. I could probably go back and reverse engineer to try to make it modular later, but as long as I get everything first, getting everything working in order. But that's it for now. I hope you guys like what you see for progression and stuff like that. Any questions and stuff, don't forget to drop a comment below and leave me some information. Also, don't forget the Discord and stuff like that. Thanks, guys. Cheers.